Welcome back to our channel Coin Collectors and Treasure Hunters. Today we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1966 Australian 1-cent coin, the very first year these coins were minted. While most are only worth a cent, some rare errors and varieties can fetch big money in today's market. In this video we'll break down everything you need to know, from its history, design, mintage, and the rarest finds that collectors are paying top dollar for. So let's get started and see if you might be holding a hidden fortune in your change. Let's get started. The 1966 Australian 1-cent coin was made from bronze composed of 97% copper to 0.5% zinc and 0.5% tin. It weighs about 2.6 grams and has a diameter of 17.65 millimeters, making it a small coin, but one with a big story. The obverse side of the coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, while the reverse showcases a striking image of a feather-tailed glider, an Australian marsupial designed by Stuart Devlin. This design became iconic and was used on the 1-cent coin throughout its years of circulation, until the denomination was withdrawn in 1990. So when you hold a 1966 1-cent coin, you're not just holding an old piece of metal, but a symbol of Australia's transition into a modern decimal system, a piece of history that millions of Australians lived through. The 1966 1-cent coin was struck in massive numbers. Over 146-1 coins were minted at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. That makes it one of the most common coins at the time, but the real story lies in the varieties and the condition of the coin. For example, sharp-eyed collectors have identified slight differences in days used, errors like off-center strikes, clipped plankets, and double strikes. These errors can fetch a surprisingly high value in the collector's market, with certain unique error pieces selling for hundreds of dollars. The sheer number of coins minted means finding a circulated example is easy, but finding an uncirculated or proof version is much harder and therefore much more valuable. In terms of value, a typical 1966 1-cent coin in circulated condition might only be worth between 5 cents and $1, depending on its wear and appearance. However, if you have a coin in mint state condition, meaning it has never been circulated and has its original luster, it can be worth anywhere from $5 to $20 to collectors. Proof versions, which were specially made for collectors in 1966 with a mirror-like finish, are much rarer and can be valued around $30 to $100 or more, depending on their quality. And remember, error coins such as double die varieties or off-metal strikes can sell for well above these figures, sometimes reaching into the hundreds. So while the majority of these coins might only bring a modest value, rare varieties and pristine condition coins are where the real treasure lies. One of the fascinating aspects of the 1966 1-cent coin is its role in the introduction of decimal currency. The government wanted the new decimal coins to be distinctive yet practical, and Stuart Devlin, the designer, became famous for creating uniquely Australian motifs that showcased wildlife and culture. The feather-tailed glider on the reverse is still admired today for its detail and charm. Collectors love the fact that this was not just any coin, it was a piece of the cultural shift in Australia's economic history. For this reason, many collectors try to obtain complete decimal coin sets from 1966, and the 1-cent coin is a core part of that collection. If you happen to have one, you're holding onto a coin that carries more significance than its tiny size might suggest. When we consider condition, grading plays a massive role in value. Collectors use terms like fine, very fine, extremely fine, and uncirculated to describe coins. A 1966 1-cent coin that has seen heavy circulation and is worn down might only be worth face value to most people, but an extremely fine piece with minimal wear and strong details could be worth a few dollars. Uncirculated coins that still shine with their original reddish bronze color are much more desirable and can fetch higher prices. Graded coins that have been certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can sometimes sell for significantly more, as grading removes doubt about authenticity and quality. So if you believe your 1966 1-cent coin is in top condition, it might be worth getting it graded. The real value of the 1966 1-cent coin isn't just in its potential resale price, but also in its collectability and historical importance. As the first year of decimal currency, 1966 Coins hold sentimental value for many Australians. Complete sets of 1966 decimal coins, including the 1 cent to cent, 5 cent, 10 cent, 20 cent, and 50-1 coins, are highly collectible, and coin dealers often sell them as presentation packs. The 1 cent coin is often included in proof sets, which were limited in number and are very popular among serious collectors if you're planning to build a long-term coin collection. The 1966 1 cent is a must-have and a good starting point for understanding Australian decimal coinage. It's also worth noting that the 1 cent coin was demonetised in 1992, meaning it was withdrawn from circulation and is no longer legal tender. This adds to its collectability, as younger generations may never have even seen one. Many coins were melted down, which means fewer exist today in pristine condition than the original 146-1 minted. This scarcity over time only boosts the value of the nicest examples. Collectors always emphasize that holding onto coins withdrawn from circulation is a smart long-term move, and the 1966 1 cent coin is a perfect example of how everyday money can turn into collectible history. Let's talk about subscription. If you're enjoying this detailed breakdown of the 1966 Australian 1 cent coin and want to learn more about rare coins, valuable finds, and tips for building your collection, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. By subscribing, you'll join a community of passionate collectors who share knowledge and discoveries every week. Your support helps us continue creating content that uncovers the hidden value of coins sitting in drawers, jars, and old collections around the world. Don't miss out. Subscribe today and become part of the treasure hunting journey with us. The 1966 Australian 1 cent coin is more than just a tiny bronze disc. It is a piece of Australian history, a first-year decimal issue, and a collectible that continues to intrigue coin enthusiasts worldwide. While most circulated examples might only be worth a small premium above face value, uncirculated proof and error coins can command impressive prices in today's market. If you have one of these coins, especially in top condition, it's worth holding onto, and if you don't have one yet, consider adding it to your collection to mark the beginning of decimal currency in Australia. Remember, every coin has a story, and the 1966 1 cent coin tells one of the most important chapters in Australia's monetary history. Thanks for watching.